I don't know, common knowledge. All right. You don't, champagne taste on a beer budget. That's like the fourth or fifth rule of life. I told y'all some of the rules of life are, nothing is free. There's always one. You put in what you get out, or yeah, you get out what you put in. What other? Let's see. There's another one. What is the other one? You sleep with dogs, you get fleas. Well, here's another one. Champagne taste on a beer budget. Somebody know what that means?
Living above your means.
Exactly. Now, I know none of y'all run into this sort of thing. My son was talking about a student the other day. I mean, one of his cohorts. I don't know how he saw this, maybe on Facebook or somebody mentioned it. But champagne, I don't know how to spell champagne. That's one of those Pagene, I think. I don't know. Champagne taste on a beer budget. And some of y'all, I was telling, he'd come into the den. He said, "Ooh, one of my friends got busted." What do you mean we got busted? Well, she always talks. She thinks she's bougie and all this, and she always tries to put on a big show. And she was asking for something, and she told her parents she wanted it. And somebody looked at the text while she was doing something, and looked at the text, and the text says, "We can't afford that right now, not at least until we get paid." And talk about the parents. And she got busted because she tells everybody that she gets whatever she wants and all this. But anyway, you think it happens just in school, but it doesn't. Okay? It happens in K through 12. You see it. You see it with students that ask their mom and daddy for stuff that they can't afford, and the mom and daddy goes into debt trying to, keep up with the Joneses. You see it in college. There was this girl once. I was teaching at the Anderson campus, and there was this girl that came into class every morning, and she tried to tell everybody what she did the whole weekend, and she included every single thing, like the price of this and the price of that, the price of this and the price of that. And finally, one girl told her to shut up. And of course, I wasn't in there when that would happen, but and then you see it in adult life. Adult life is when you really see it. Now, I know y'all don't see any of this. Of course, I know y'all don't. But it happens. And in adult life, that's the problem with adult life is you can actually go into debt. Now, that's department. How you do debt? DBT. Okay? You can actually go into debt acting this out right here. And I personally have seen that happen. I've personally seen people with second mortgages on their house, second mortgage, and credit card bills equaling up to close to $750,000. $750,000. That's ridiculous.
That's horrible.
It is. It's ridiculous. And I've actually seen that. And there's no reason for it because they had nothing to show for it. Now, I could understand if they did a second mortgage on their house and they were using credit card bills to keep their business afloat. But these people had no business. Okay, they had no business, but they had to keep up their appearances with the finest cars and this and that and this and that, and they were in debt $750,000. So don't let that happen to you. All right. Most of you will run into it. Has anybody ever run into something like that before? Bull crap. Yes, you have. But y'all have sworn a pact not to interact with me, right? So, champagne taste on a beer budget. That's about rule number 5. Don't follow champagne taste on a beer budget. How do you keep yourself aligned? Well, it's called a budget. Okay. It's called controlling your finances. It's called not living on a champagne taste when you have a beer budget. Most of y'all are students, right? And most students know what ramen noodles are. Why? Because you can buy like 5 or 6 truckloads for $5. Okay. Stuff like that. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Know your bank balance. Know what you spend. Don't buy on impulse. What is the number one rule going to the grocery store? What's the number one rule when you go to the grocery store to buy groceries?
Don't go when you're hungry.
Don't go when you're hungry. Okay? Because you'll be buying up everything. Don't ever go to the grocery store when you're hungry. All right? So that's a lot of that impulse buying right there. Think first, but only if you make sense. Make a budget and don't overspend. Now, I don't have a budget on paper. Okay? I kind of follow this thing right here. And I know what my income is, and I know what I have to pay out. I mean, I've done it, for so long that I know what money I'm going to have at the end of the month, which is not much, when you pay alimony, child support, house payment, utilities. I don't have car payments because I don't like car payments. So, I know how much money I'm going to have at the end of the month. So I know I can't afford this, this, and this. So guess what? If I can't afford it, guess what? I don't buy it. Simple as that. Okay? Some of y'all ain't going to like hearing some of this stuff because it's, Now, I'm not going to go through this, okay? We're going to go through simple interest. We're going to go through compound interest. They're trying to give you a little bit. I don't know why they put this credit card right here because this is in another section. But anyway, Cassidy has recently begun keeping her spending under control, but she still can't fully pay off her credit card. She maintains an average monthly. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, those right there are the biggest scams since insurance. Okay? These are the biggest scams. You should stay away and run away from credit cards. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a credit card through your bank and having it for an emergency. There's nothing wrong with that. And you keep it in your wallet and you only use it when you have a flat tire. You only use it when, something goes wrong with your car. You only use it when, you need to buy a train ticket or a airline ticket to go for a family emergency. That's what that's for. Okay. But the other credit cards, you need to get rid of them. You need to get rid of them because all they do is weight you down. She maintains an average monthly balance of about $100 or $1,100, and her card charges a 24% interest rate, 24 cents on every dollar. That's outrageous, okay? Which bills at a rate of 2% per month. How much is she spending on credit card interest? Well, this is not the time to do this because we do that in 4C. We get into that, but I don't know why they're doing it here. Her average monthly interest rate is 2% of the $1,100 average balance. So she's paying $22 interest a month, which is $264 a year. Okay, that's the kind of stuff they're talking about. You need to know this kind of stuff, but a lot of high school graduates don't. Why does a lot of high school graduates, why are they dumb as dirt when it comes to personal finance?
Because they don't teach it.
Yeah, I wonder why. Wonder why they don't teach you things like that, like your income tax.
It's a scam.
Huh? Because
it's a scam.
You know what I really do believe in the bottom of my heart. I believe I believe that the government wants to keep its people stupid. I really do believe that, because how many people that you went to high school with are actually going to college? Do you know how many people actually go to college? Because you're not going to find a lot of personal finance unless you go, in the real world and learn it the hard way, or you go to college, or, technical college, vocational college, somewhere that you actually learn personal finance. Yes, ma'am. Miss Ballou and Miss Stewart, we all going to say something? No, I was just hoping. I'm sorry.
I was just saying that I only know like a handful of students who actually went to college, or if they actually did go to college, they dropped out of their first semester.
Yeah, that happens a lot. So, I personally think that colleges, that the government doesn't push personal finance in education, because the dumber you are, the easier it is to control you. And where would be what area do they want you to be really stupid in? Personal finance. Because that way you just, fill out your income taxes, and you don't really know that you're giving them 25 cents out of every dollar you make, or 40 cents out of every dollar you make. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to be aware of it. Okay? Just like the credit card companies don't either. How do you make a budget? Determine your average monthly income. Now, that's what we're doing with the project. This is what we're doing with the project. Determine your average monthly income. Now, your ideal way of doing that, of your expenses and your income, is taking a month and actually writing down everything. You know your income, okay? You know what you're bringing in. That's not real difficult. But what you're actually paying out. How many drinks do you drink in a month? How many times do you buy snacks, or how much snacks do you buy per month? And I'm not talking about going to Wally World and buying a whole big old thing of crackers. I'm talking about how many times do you buy a snack out of a machine, or how many times do you buy a snack at the QT? Okay, that's the kind of stuff that you need to write down. You'd be surprised on how much you spend when you could take a DiGiorno's pizza and you could cook it and put it in sandwich bags and take that with you, versus buying a piece of pizza at QT. Okay? So that's what this is. Determine your average monthly expenses. Subtract the two and make adjustments. Now, this is not an easy 4-step process if you've got a lot of stuff to write down. That's why you need to take a week, like this next week. This is your homework assignment for this week. Write down everything that you spend and everything that you take in this week. And basically, you're going to multiply that by 4, because there's 4 weeks in a month. So we're going to do the shortened version, okay? You're going to write down everything you do for a week. And I really mean this, okay? You need to write down, take a notebook, a little notebook, and you need to write down everything you spend and everything you take in as far as income for the week. All right? Now, if a lot of your bills are paid by a guardian or a scholarship or whatever, you need to count that as income, because that's income. If somebody gives you money or somebody pays your bills, that's income. And what you spend, that's expenses. So you need to do that for your project and your self-awareness. Okay,
So
here's
should we include the stimulus check?
Yes, yeah, that stimulus check. Everybody likes that stimulus check.
Mm-hmm.
When are we supposed to get that?
I'm not sure. I haven't been paying attention.
I haven't I haven't listened to the news since November, so I wouldn't have a clue. My son says he likes it. I said, well, I don't like it. I like to keep up with the news, but since nothing's logical since November, I haven't kept up with the news. So he says, Daddy, you're in a better mood when you don't watch the news. I said, well, that's not by choice. But anyway, I haven't even kept up with it.
I think the checks are rolling out this week. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm all for the stimulus. This is the third check that we're supposed to be getting. I'm all for it because of the coronavirus. So I'm all for it because I think people need it, especially those people that work in restaurants and things like that. But now we did go through a phase where you could wear a mask in a restaurant. I don't know how you're going to eat, but I guess it's okay if you're in your own little world, in your own little table. You can take your mask off after you walk through the restaurant with your mask on. So I guess that's logical. Anyway, in addition to your monthly expenses, you have the following college expenses that you pay twice a year: $3,500 for tuition, $750 in student fees, and $800 for textbooks. Now, a lot of people say, Hubert, do we need to include this? Well, let me put it to you this way. You can make a personal budget for just stuff that you spend and stuff that you bring in. If you want to include this stuff in your project, that's up to you. The whole purpose of the budget process is for you to be aware of what you take in and what you pay out. Why would you not include this? Well, this is kind of the tuition and books. That's kind of an arrangement with your parents or yourself. If you want to include that, you do that, but you got to include both. You got to include the tuition and the books, and you have to include what your guardian or your scholarship or your grandmother or whatever or yourself, you got to include that income that you're paying for that books and tuition. If you want to leave it out because you just want to do your personal expenses, then that's up to you. I don't care if you include it. I don't care. The main thing we're trying to get you to see with this budget project, or they're trying to get you to see with this budget project, is what you take in and what you take out, okay? And what you pay out. And this is $800 for textbooks, student fees, and this is what you pay in a year's time. And and I don't spend a lot of time on this because I think most of y'all can, if you're doing your drinks per semester or per week, I think most of y'all can actually write that down, and you can actually multiply that by 4 to find out your monthly. I think most of y'all can do that. All right? But that's how you do it.
All right.
And let's see. I'm trying to pick out the most important stuff here. A lot of people don't even understand this. Okay, premium. Premium is a payment. I don't know why they just don't call them payment, insurance payment. That's what I call them. How many of you? I tell my children how much their insurance is. Okay, my daughter, she just got off of my insurance. She's paying her own insurance. I didn't force her, but she wanted to, and her insurance was $600 every 6 months. $1,200 a year I had to pay for her car insurance. That's what your parents, some of y'all's parents, are paying for you because you're the same age as my daughter, or you're a little bit younger than my daughter. But my daughter is 22. Well, she just turned 23. Okay, and her insurance, her car insurance, is $1,200 a year. That's a little bit high. Okay. My insurance is $600 a year. Why do they make it cheaper for older people? Because the older you get, the more sense you have. Okay, the younger you are, the more stupid you are, and that's why insurance companies charge higher insurance for younger people. Deductible. How many of you have a cell phone? Well, there was a time when the cell phone deductible was like $25 and you get a new cell phone. Now it's ridiculous. Now it's like $100, $125, $150. And I take my cell phone to, what's it called, CPR, and I just have them fix it. I'd rather give them the money than give an insurance company the money, so I just go there and get them to fix it. But a deductible is what you pay to get the insurance company basically to pay the rest. So if, let's say that my daughter, I pay $1,200 a year for her insurance, and she has a wreck and wants to go get her car fixed, and I got to pay $500 to get her car fixed, and the insurance company will pay the rest, whatever it is over $500. Okay, so that's what a deductible is. The copayment usually applies to health insurance. A copayment is pretty much kind of like a deductible, only it's not set. A while back, I had to go to the I don't know what's it called, urgent care, because when I had COVID or when I had the flu and COVID, I had both. They sent me a bill, and my insurance company paid like a good part of it because it was flu and COVID. So they paid like a good portion of it. I only had to pay like $25. Okay, that's what a copayment is. Now, again, I shouldn't have to tell y'all this stuff because y'all should have learned this, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't know what these words are. You'd be surprised. A premium is a payment. Deductible is what you pay to get the insurance to pay the rest. And a copayment is about the same thing as a deductible, only the deductible is more set in stone, like $500 for car insurance and like $100 for your phone insurance. Where a copayment, it's not set in stone. You could pay $25 like I did. If I get x-rays and a whole workup of tests, then I'm going to pay more than $25 because all that costs more. Okay? So that's a little bit of definitions right there. And suppose you have an accident and end up in an emergency room receiving a $7,000 bill for your treatment. You have health insurance, but your policy has $1,000 annual deductible and a $250, so you're going to have to pay $1,250 out of that $7,000. Okay, and pays only 80% of the remaining balance. Well, that sucks. How much will you pay out of pocket? Well, yeah, you got three parts. First of all, you got $1,000 deductible. Then you got a $250 copayment. Then you got to take that out of, so that's going to be $1,250 out of $7,000, which is what? I don't know, 40, 50, 58, 50, something like that. I don't know, I'm doing it in my head. Is it 58.50? So you got to take 80% of 58.50. Well, I have no idea. 1% would be 58 bucks. 6 times 7. 6 times 7 is what? 42. You're going to have to pay, the insurance is going to pay like $4,200. You're going to have to pay another $1,200 because it only pays 80%. So you're screwed. And there you go. So here's, okay, $1,150. I said $1,200. I'm sorry. I was off. So $1,000 plus $250. I was doing all this in my head. $1,000 plus $250 is $1,250 plus another $1,200 That's what you're going to end up paying. Now, see, that's why I call insurance companies a scam, because you shouldn't have to pay $2,400 for having to go to the hospital. So I'm not a opponent of insurance companies. When you get insurance, you better keep one eye opened, because they will screw you.
Doesn't insurance usually help though, because that's still cheaper?
Yeah, it helps, but what I'm saying is you shouldn't have to pay $2,400.
Right.
It used to not be that way. Insurance companies they've gotten a whole lot bolder, and they've gotten a whole lot more dictatorial. Is what I'm saying. You used to be able to pay $1,000 or $500, and that's all you'd have to pay. But now, this is a very true question. It's a very applicable question.
All right.
So, find a way to make your budget allow for savings, understand how savings work, understand the basic mathematics of loans. We're going to go through all of this. Understand how taxes are computed. We're going to do all of this. That's budget, that's 7A. Loans is 7C. 7E is taxes. 7D is for depression. 7D is car payments and mortgage payments and credit card payments, and how people think that they're paying a car payment of $250 a month, and they pay it for 5 years. They actually paying double what they borrowed, because we're going to get into that. Okay, so that's 7A. 7A is kind of, pretty much, I'm not going to say common knowledge, but you should be able to figure up your expenses for 1 week, and you should be able to multiply those expenses and income by 4, and you should have a good monthly, setup for a budget. Okay, you're going to have to write down a lot of stuff, and you're going to have to actually do it, and that's up to you. 4B, and I only got a few minutes left, but I wanted to, managing money. This is where we actually probably get into the savings. All right. Compound interest. Now, there's 2 or 3 different types of interest. I'm going to go ahead and show you this right now. You can write this down. There is simple interest. And then there is compound interest. And then there is continuous interest. Simple interest is kind of like the Walmart equation. You take your principal plus the percentage times the principal, and that's equal to the total. I tell students that simple interest is usually done with people like friends and family. And guess who you should not do loans with?
Who?
Friends and family. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, a lot of people use simple interest for friends and family, but I will tell you right now, from personal experience, you never let friends and family borrow money from you. Now, I'm talking about simple interest. I'm not talking about borrowing $25, pay me back next week. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. Because if people go through a money crisis, who are they going to screw first? They're going to screw their friends and family first. All right. So if I borrowed, say like Mr. Justin is my cousin, and he lets me borrow $1,000, and I pay it off in a year, and I have a monthly payment, I'm just making up something, of $100 because of the simple interest and everything, and I pay him $100 a month payback. Everybody with me? if I lose my job, automatically my house payment, all my family's needs, they go up here. Where is my cousin's loan payment going to go? It's going to go down on the bottom. He's not going to get his $100 a month if I run into a financial problem. Okay? Or if my job is, or if I get cut from my job or fired or whatever, my payment to my family member or my friend, that's going to get cut. So when you're dealing with family and friends, this is not a good idea. Tell them to go to a bank. I'll be honest with you. It's better. You feel like, no, I need to help my friend out. I'm going to tell you, you're going to end up losing that money most of the time. Okay? So be careful when you're doing a simple interest loan. Compound. A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT power. Write that down, because I will test you on that, and you will be tested on all this is on a standardized test too. Continuous gives you about the same thing as compound, only you don't have to do as much calculating. A is equal to PERT, P-E-R-T. Now, those are the three interests that we're going to be studying in 7B. Okay? And I'm not going to get into it today because that's class today. Did anybody come in late? Let me check somebody did, I think. Let me check the roll right quick. I'm sorry, but I have to do this. There we go. Set attendance for this class. Okay, Miss Arabia came in. Good morning, Miss Arabia.
Good morning.
Chadman came in. Haygood and Holder. That's unusual. Miss Holder didn't hear. I hope she's all right. Hope she's not sick. Ramey. Is Ramey here? No. Is Yoder? Nope. So I still got Haygood, Holder, Ramey, and Yoder. Okay. Y'all read up on, I want y'all to read up, this is your homework. I want you to read 7A and 7B. And I want you to start writing down after today. I want you for 5 days, Monday through Friday. Now, you need to include the weekend also. All right. Monday through Friday, I want you to write down everything you spend and everything you take in. That's including allowance. That's including pay. That's including gifts from your mom and dad, or, payments from your mom and dad to make payments. Anything that comes in and anything that goes out of your pocket, I want you to write down for the next 5 to 7 days. I'm going to include 7 for those that want to do this legitimately. Okay, any questions?
You said 7A and 7B?
Yeah, 7A and 7B. I haven't went over 7B yet, but
Well,
we're going to go over that Wednesday probably.
Isn't 7 the section we just took a test on?
Okay, whatever section, what section? 4, is it 4?
It's 4.
Okay, I'm
4A
sorry.
and 4B?
4A and 4B. I'm so sorry. Yes,
Okay.
4A and 4B. That's what you need to read, and you need to start making your list. Everybody got it?
Yep.
All right, y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all Wednesday.
Enjoy your day.
Hopefully won't be running late.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye.